Tonight on CTV News, a major fire in Hornby forces the evacuation of residents. Victoria Square lovers step up their fight to save the square, and a popular pool is reopened.
Broadcasting across Canterbury, from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening to you. Homes have been evacuated as firefighters battle a massive fire near Hornby. The fire service have multiple engines at the fire on Pound Road, and police have now evacuated properties. We understand 2 properties have been engulfed by flames as well. That news just coming into us. 100 km/h winds have not helped the situation, hampering efforts to bring the blaze under control. Most of Christchurch has in fact been engulfed by dust because of the strong winds. And our reporter Jared McCulloch was at the scene of the Hornby fire earlier today.
Evacuations are in place near Hornby following a vegetation fire sparked by downed power lines and fanned by dust storms, which have blustered across Canterbury for most of the day. Canterbury police are working with the fire service, who have been dealing with gusts of up to 125 km/h when fallen power lines sparked numerous scrub fires in the area. Many properties are under threat and some have been evacuated. Cordons are being set up and diversions are in place on Pound Road, Buchanan's Road, Gilbert Thorpe's Road and Roberts Road. People stopped and looked on as smoke bellowed from the scrub fire, while helicopters used monsoon buckets to collect water from nearby swimming pools. At the peak of the winds, around 5,000 homes were without power, with most of them back on now, and around 37 more homes are still without power near the blaze. There are also power outages in Leaston, with up to 2,000 properties without electricity, and police and emergency services are asking for people to be patient as they get the situation under control.
But the situation is far from in control, and reporter Jared McCulloch was at the scene. He joins me now. Jared, just how big is this fire? Unprecedented scenes in Christchurch.
Yes, very big scenes today in Christchurch. It's a day of fires really in Canterbury, and the fire today, it's been insane. Basically, the fire has been spread across the city, and there have been multiple dust storms, and the fire service has managed to get a lot of phone calls from concerned residents about dust storms, but it turns out it's just one big fire spanning right across into the Port Hills. We have reports, people have seen it as bad as far as that. Just to clarify on the streets that are closed, Pound Road, Buchanan Road, Gilbert Thorpe's Road and Roberts Road, those are the 4 ones that are being monitored at the moment, and multiple firefighters.
Pretty bad, because even when I was at ZB earlier this morning, people were saying, Chris, there's a massive fire. We actually phoned fire services. There was confusion at one point because the fire service, it's just a bit of dust, it's strong wind. So I get the impression this fire may have taken the fire service and emergency services by surprise. But not just that, a couple of other fires around the region too, scrub fires here and there.
Yeah, there's been a couple more today as well. As I said, there's been a few in Canterbury today. One is such scrub fire in Ashburton, a couple there as well, and one in Kaiapoi as well. So yeah, it's all go today.
You had a chance to speak to some of the residents that were pretty close to that fire. We have reports coming through that potentially 2 houses may have gone up in smoke. We're yet to have that confirmed. But in terms of the general feel there, I mean, what I'm getting a sense on the ground, there's an absolute sense of shock. They haven't seen anything like this ever before, particularly in our city.
Definitely, and it's very close to houses as well. And when I turned up there today, because I went and had a look today, there was multiple people out with their phones, filming, taking pictures. Police were there and they were calling off multiple streets. Traffic just blocked right up. It was quite eerie as well. A lot of people just staring, not sure what to do as well. Also, it doesn't really help either when power is out to a lot of people as well. Obviously concerned, asking neighbours what's up as well.
I get the impression this blaze isn't going to go out anytime soon until the wind stops. Reports suggest that the winds may continue for late into the night. That's going to hamper efforts, isn't it?
Yes, well, at the peak of the fire today, it was at around 125 km/h, which is insane, really. And with all the dust going across the city, that would make sense as well. It's covering everywhere. I just want to add too, as I said before, bystanders were filming the blaze, but there was also people concerned, obviously animals, people holding horses and stuff as they were scared. And the helicopters were flying low too with those monsoon buckets. As you can see in the pictures there now, they were getting water out of swimming pools, I believe to be swimming pools, I understand, from nearby houses and one near a school as well. So they were flying very, very low today, and I think there was a lot of concerned children as well in the backfield there as well before going home around 3.
That is our reporter, Jared McCulloch. Thanks for updating us. And of course, right here on CTV, we will continue to update you on this story as it continues to develop, and we thank you for that report. Well, to the day's other news. Now, 4 men have been charged after a disorder incident in Ashburton last Sunday. At least 3 people and a police constable were taken to hospital following the incident outside the Dicksmith Electronics store on East Street. A 19-year-old man has been charged with assault, and 3 other men in their mid and early 20s rather, have also been charged with assault and aggravated robbery. All 4 men will appear in the Ashburton District Court in 3 weeks' time. Senior Sergeant Scott Banfield says anyone identified being involved in this will be held to the fullest account, and police are still seeking witnesses to the incident, and investigations are of course continuing. Well, to the day's other big story, it looks like it's going to be back to the drawing board again, and rightly so. The design of the Christchurch Victoria Square is going back to public consultation. But why all the fuss? Well, our reporter Marcus Gibbs speaks to prominent activists about why they so strongly oppose the new plans.
It's fenced off today, but that's just for the World Cup fan zone. Otherwise, this idyllic square in the middle of post-quake Christchurch's landscape has been largely untouched for the last 26 years. The Christchurch Central Development Unit now wants to spend $7 million redesigning Victoria Square to make it more event-friendly, but a number of organisations are putting their hands up in support of keeping the square exactly the way it is.
It's quite unwarranted to spend $7 million of taxpayers' money on revamping a space which doesn't require it.
It's not broken, so why would you? There's no need to change it. Again, just leave it alone.
It's got beautiful curved shapes, the bright flower gardens, the mature trees, and nobody wants to see those cut down.
It's a great space now. It's a fantastic space, and as you look around, it's a green refuge in a city that's still grey and earthquake wrecked.
The CCDU is proposing to revamp the area and to remove silt and make ecological improvements to the Avon River. On Sunday, Associate Earthquake Recovery Minister Nikki Wagner announced that due to opposition over the plans, the project would be paused until the public had a chance to comment. The 2 groups opposing the new design say this is a step in the right direction, and they're meeting to discuss their next move.
We're meeting tonight, and we're going to call upon the government to intervene and instruct Warwick Isaac and CCDU to tell them Victoria Square, there's no need for change, leave it alone.
Other residents would prefer the square was left alone.
Personally, I would like to see it stay as it is.
I think it's a waste of money. It's beautiful the way it is. Please don't change it.
I don't think they should change this layout at all.
There's real no need to worry about consultation because the public would basically telling us Victoria Square, there's no need for change, leave it alone.
Victoria Square has a history of council and government intervention. Heritage campaigner Ross Gray showed me a concept for a building similar in size to the Sky Tower that was once proposed to be developed on a corner of the square. Neil Roberts wants the square to stay as it is because of its significance to the town hall. He would like to see both landmarks saved.
The design of Victoria Square and the town hall come together very well. A new redesign, which is indeed inferior to this one, will not allow that to happen.
He says any redesign of the crucial square should be put off for at least 2 decades, as no one knows exactly what the empty surrounding streets will end up looking like.
When the city is built in 25 years, because this city won't be finished for another 25 years.
Despite the opposition, both Neil and Elizabeth would like to see some elements of the plan adopted, such as an extension of the punting.
Because that would involve very minimal intrusion, and it certainly wouldn't involve flattening out the mounds or straightening the paths or cutting down the trees.
Punting could be incorporated, and those things can be. Anything on the river, there's no problem.
The 2 groups will meet tonight, where they'll make their next move, and if worse comes to worse, some of the members aren't ruling out strapping themselves to the bulldozer, along with Deputy Mayor Vicky Buck, to put a final stop to the plans. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Well, some good news for Aranui residents can breathe a sigh of relief. A man has been arrested and charged with aggravated robbery after an incident in the suburb yesterday. A 22-year-old man appeared in the Christchurch District Court today facing charges after he allegedly burgled a dairy at the intersection of Pages Road and Breezes Road in Aranui. Police investigations into this and other robberies in Aranui continue, and Canterbury Police is urging anyone with information or may have witnessed the two incidents to contact them as soon as possible. Well, still to come, we'll bring an update on that fire, plus a popular community pool is reopened. Welcome back to CTV News. We have an update on the fire situation across the city shortly, but the opening of Scarborough Pool today is a bit of a milestone. Not only does it provide a pool for the Sumner community, but it also actually represents the repair of all community pools in Christchurch. Emma Cropper explains.
Sunshine, laughter and splashing about in the water. Dozens of preschoolers are cooling down this summer in Scarborough's new paddling pool.
It's been something that's been really missing from our community, and it's wonderful to have it back here, and also seeing lots of people out of Sumner coming back into the village and experiencing how good it is.
Have you missed it? Has it been missed by the young ones?
Yeah. It's good to have all the kids happy again.
It's great.
Good to have it back open?
Yeah, definitely. It's a neat pool.
Local preschoolers were on hand to help celebrate the pool's official opening, as locals gathered to welcome back a missing piece of the community.
This is a fantastic opportunity to celebrate something being returned to our city, which people have been incredibly patient and waiting to get back.
The pool was demolished after being damaged beyond repair in the February earthquakes. At a cost of $780,000, the new design was chosen after community consultation and includes water jets, geysers and fountains.
It's just fantastic for the local community. It's been a long time coming. They really pushed and lobbied for it.
That new design is a mixture of the old and the new. The original paddling pool was built in the early 1960s.
So over half a century of people, connecting and kids playing in the area.
Its opening also marks the first time all of Christchurch's public outdoor pools are operating since the devastating quake, just in time for the summer.
The team pushed really hard before Christmas to get it open so that the facility was available to the community for the Christmas period, and obviously we've had a great hot Christmas period, so they've been spending the last week doing the finishing touches, but that's it, finally complete and ready for use for future.
Which means locals no longer have to travel away from the east to cool down in the hot weather.
So not having to traipse all the way over the other side of town to go to the pools with all the rest of Christchurch. It's great.
With that hot weather not about to disappear anytime soon, this paddling pool has opened at the perfect time for these preschoolers. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
And from one community to the next, this time the Mount Pleasant community is one step closer to having a new community centre. But they do need your help with sponsorship. Here's Emma Cropper again.
Locked behind gates, this gravel site is all that remains of Mount Pleasant Community Centre. But by the end of the year, the group is hoping this desolate site will be replaced by this, a state-of-the-art community centre.
But it's a unique style of building and innovative way of getting stuff going, so we're pretty confident we can get it in a year.
But they're short on funds to foot the $4 million bill, now scrambling to find $650,000, their target needed to pay for the centre.
Oh, we need it. We're short by a few $100,000. We have the facility to borrow, but going into a community facility with debt is not our preference. And in 1947, the community contributed 50% of the bill. Where luckily we've got that down to about 10% of the build, so that's what we need.
Tonight they're launching their Sponsor a Square Foot campaign to help raise those extra funds, inviting the public to pay $100 to own a square foot of the community centre. The new home will house a large studio for yoga, dance and martial arts, as well as space for arts and crafts workshops and public meetings.
It'll be the community hub, a place where the community can meet. We have our farmers markets here. There are dance classes, music classes, knitting, doing all sorts of stuff. In fact, it hasn't changed much from 1950 when the first one opened.
The original community centre, built in 1953, was destroyed in the February earthquakes.
It was on fairly unstable ground, and like a lot of homes around here, as you can see, it didn't make it.
Leaving the group scrambling to find a new home in a temporary school classroom that's been brought onto the site to house them in the meantime. If their fundraising campaign goes to plan, the centre should be open by the end of the year. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Looks very nice indeed. Well, homes teetering on the top of Clifton Terrace have been the cause of concern following the earthquake, and Emma Cropper has more details about what's being done to remove the hazards from the cliff.
These homes had to come down after being deemed too unsafe and a risk to lives as they teetered on the edge of Clifton Hill, using remote-controlled excavators to demolish the hard-to-get-to homes. The Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority has almost completed the demolition. In a statement from Sarah, a spokesperson says of the 5 dwellings, only one is left to be fully deconstructed, and the foundation removal at 40 Terrace Place should be completed early next week. Demolishing the homes is a major step in clearing damaged and dangerous buildings from the Port Hills.
Slow but steady progress. We'll still to come. We'll update you on the fire situation raging out of control in Hornby and your latest weather. Well, depending on how you look at this next story, it could be progress or another pain, really. It's one of the busiest thoroughfares in Christchurch, but traffic will be reduced and restricted for nearly 2 years as Skirt repairs the Morehouse Ave overbridge.
Starting from the beginning of next week, a busy section of Morehouse Ave will receive a lengthy upgrade. The nearly 2-year-long repair job will see the bridge crossing over Colombo Street closed to vehicles wanting to park underneath the bridge. However, the overpass will still remain open to traffic during construction. The busy overbridge will go through a $5 million makeover to strengthen and repair 10 concrete piers under the roadway. It underwent temporary repairs just after the February 2011 quake, being reopened to the public in April that year, but now Skirt is completing a more permanent solution. The bridge will undergo hydroblasting, which breaks away the concrete with high-pressure water. It's the best method to help keep the steel reinforcements in good order. There will be no parking down either side of the bridge, as it will be used as an extra lane for traffic. Skirt says it will be business as usual for commuters and businesses in the area, and construction will commence from next Monday.
Well, it's certainly been a busy day of news. Just to let you know, you may have seen a lot of police around the area of Chisnellwood Intermediate. The situation there was there was a lockdown earlier this afternoon because of a potential armed offender on the loose, but that school did reopen about an hour later. But it's nevertheless scary times for students going back to school, for some of them for the first time, at least with Intermediate. In terms of the fire update, now we've got some, well, I suppose it is positive news. Our reporter Jared McCulloch is with us. Jared, we understand the latest is the fire, Yoldhurst, Hornby area, it's now under control. What have you got for us?
Yes, that's right. Well, we've just got some other reports that's just come in from eyewitnesses. They say that 2 houses have been destroyed. The grass took out the cross in 15 seconds, so that is quite fast indeed.
15 seconds?
15 seconds, so
Gee.
Insane. The fire was sparked from a fallen power line, and some witnesses say that they could hear the power line explode. 100 homes have been evacuated, and the fire is about roughly 1.2 kilometres in length. So pretty decent fire today, pretty full on today as well, yeah, for everyone in that area.
A very full on day. So in some respects now we're learning more that it perhaps wasn't the tin dry conditions, but obviously a power line that that went up in smoke or sparked. But however, with the weather and the strong winds, it's made life so difficult, hasn't it?
And definitely it has, and of course we've seen a lot of this over the last month, last month as well, just a lot of fires from dry conditions. Obviously, as you said before, this fire's been sparked by a power line, but yeah, a lot of dry conditions that have made these fires happen, but the fire service obviously have got it under control now, which is good news.
That is good news. That is our reporter Jared McCulloch, and we thank you for that update. And don't forget, you can head to my Facebook page, facebook.com/LynchInNZ. We've got some extraordinary footage coming through there. Well, now it's time for the region's weather.
Hello Canterbury, let's check out your weather. First up, Timaru, it was a warm 24 today. Temuka and Geraldine, your high today was 23. Ashburton and Methven, you shared a nice 24 degrees today. Rakaia, 24 for you also. Moving along the region, Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston, you are all sitting on 24 degrees. Lincoln 24 for you, Christchurch slightly warmer on 25. Over in Akaroa now, it was a great day for you today, sitting on a warm 25 degrees. In North Canterbury, Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley, you all shared a high of 24 today. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, it was a cooler one for you today with a warm 23 degrees. At the top of the region, Kaikoura, you were on 25 degrees. Taking a look at tomorrow's weather now. Timaru, it'll be mostly fine with cloud increasing during the afternoon and a cool southwesterly wind. Tonight's low 10, tomorrow's high 18 degrees. Ashburn and tomorrow, it'll be a fine Thursday in store for you, but there will be some increasing cloud and cooler winds later on in the day. You're looking at a low of 10 tonight, tomorrow's high 18. Tomorrow in Christchurch, a fine and sunny day for you with cloud increasing during the afternoon and westerly winds changing to southwesterlies. Tonight's low 10, your high tomorrow 18 degrees. Taking a look at Kaikoura now, a fine day for your Thursday too with some cloud at times and west to southwesterly winds expected. Your low tonight is 10, tomorrow's high 18. To the other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine, a fine morning for you tomorrow with some cloud drifting in by the afternoon, 19 degrees. Methven and Rakai, it's looking like a great day tomorrow with sunny periods and some cloud in the afternoon. Darfield, Leeston, Rolleston and Lincoln, you'll all be sharing the weather together tomorrow, a warm 18 for you all. Over in Akaroa, a fine day for you, some cloud expected later on, 18 degrees is your high. Further north, Kaiapoi, Rangiora and Amberley, fine day for you with a hint of some cloud creeping in by the afternoon. Tomorrow you should look forward to 18 degrees. Culverden, Hamner Springs and Cheviot, you are likely to take the hottest temperature in Canterbury tomorrow, fine with some cloud expected, 19 degrees for you. Looking ahead for Canterbury, it'll be a different picture for Waitangi Day, a cloudy day expected with some brief light showers expected as the cold southwesterly winds become strong and gusty during the afternoons, but those winds will decrease by evening. The cloud will clear by Saturday, sunny skies are expected with cool southwesterlies dying out and they'll turn to northeasterly winds later on. It'll be mostly fine and sunny for your Sunday with northeasterly winds expected, but by Monday some mild northwesterlies are on the cards with some high cloud, but cooler southwesterlies will creep in by the afternoon with cloudy skies and some scattered showers. And that is your weather for this Wednesday.
And that is CTV News this Wednesday. Have a safe and happy evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.